Greetings, accounting aficionados. Today, we are going to focus on an aspect that not all softwares do quite so well as Depreciation Pro, which is how assets are disposed. So we've entitled this C Corp, so you only sold part of it. And we will load up a few assets that we are going to dispose of, or split, or do something interesting with. As usual, we will go through the entire load process to show you how easy and direct it is. AI is analyzing our columns. It's looking down. It finds the basic ones of description, original cost, recovery period, all of that sort of thing. And we come through and we check out what we have, a few laptops, a building, a warehouse racking system. All that's fine. There are some warnings, but we don't need to worry about this. And we're all imported. And here we are on our main screen. You can see that there are a couple items that are being called out as far as the basis, which we expect to make sure is solid. But let's get into the purpose of this video, which is so you only sold part of it. Here we have 10 laptops. Great. But it is a common enough occurrence that we might want to sell off some of them. So let's go over to dispose and do exactly that. What you can see is we can dispose the entire asset with the associated sales proceeds, or we can dispose part of the asset. And we can do it in several different ways. We can do it by percentage, we can do it by dollar amount, or we can do it by units. I'm going to pick units because there are 10 laptops, and we're going to dispose of, let's say, 3 out of the 10 total units. And so you can see already we are splitting those up. And the remaining assets we get to relabel. So 7 remaining. And the disposed ones, we will just go ahead and directly copy down. And there are 3 of them. Let's say that we sold them for 9,000. And here we are. So the 7, 21, 3, 9, all that checks for the math. And you can see how our gain loss manifests itself. Now, disposition kind is just a sale. And we are going to get into in another video all the options you might have here. But let's go ahead and dispose it and see how we do. Okay, so what we're going to have here is this new asset, which if I go back to my assets, I see now that I have this 7 laptop group at 21,000, and we have the ones that we've actually disposed. Great, so that was very direct. Now let's get to some of the fancy stuff. You see here we have a Riverside office building. And what we're going to do here is we're going to dispose part of the asset. So imagine that we just replaced the roof on this building. The old roof is gone, but on most software, it just keeps depreciating for 30 years as if it's still there. The IRS, as you know, lets you make a partial disposition election under 1.168I-8, which we are going to utilize. And note, just as a side tip, the software immediately registered this is an office building, and so you might go and work on a cost-seg study for it. But we're going to dispose part of this asset, and we're going to record a partial disposition. Let's say so we check the button, this switches to dollar only entry, and we'll say that the roof's cost was 58,000. Great. We need to give some reasons. So select a method. We could say cost seg or pro rata. It doesn't, this is an optional type of substantiation. Let's just say cost seg because I like them. We have the remaining asset description. We can just call it Riverside assets. The disposition kind is retirement. So there's no sales proceeds associated with it. We have the allocation, of course, was 58,000, and so that's the story. So what happens when we go and tie this all out? If I record the election the disposition. Here we go, and we go back to our assets. What you see now is the Riverside office building disposed portion of 58,000, which is disposed, and the remaining office building is going to continue to depreciate as expected. So all of that is directly inside the software, and hopefully is easy as we intend it to be. Finally, I'll go over to the form 4797 because that's where we're capturing all of these things, and you can see that they dutifully appear where you would expect them to, in all the ways that we think you would expect it to do. So that is the story of So You Only Sold Part of It. Hope you've enjoyed the video. As always, if you have questions, observations, improvements that you think we could make to make your life easier, we are very interested in it, and have great days.